Hello, welcome to my review of Firewall 0 Hour. Please comment and subscribe and you will automatically be entered into a free shout out for my next video. Anyways, back to why you clicked. Firewall 0 Hour is arguably one of the best PSVR games, and the best PSVR game first person shooter. Maybe the best first person shooter for all of VR, at least in my opinion. It was initially released in August 2018 and got a lot of positive feedback since then. The game got a few minor updates, mostly add-ons, and a few new maps. But where exactly does Firewall 0 Hour sit today in 2020? I'll start off by saying this game definitely reminded me of Rainbow Six Siege. You and your team must defend or hack a laptop for mysterious data files. The game is strategy based and you almost always need to work with your team in order to win the match, which does add a lot of immersion. It really does feel like you're sucked into the game. And if you're worried about throwing up all over your house, Firewall does have extremely smooth gameplay. It really does feel like you're there. Moving on to the sensors, Firewall runs extremely smoothly even when you're shaking your remote all over the place, as well as Firewall added many new mechanics that you can only really find in VR, such as blind firing. You can also break windows by smashing or shooting it, then shoot through the window. And I don't think I dislike one map. I would definitely like to play a different map than Oil Rig every once in a while. Also, the game has tons of guns. I haven't even unlocked that many. One of my personal favorites is the shotgun, which is extremely satisfying to use if you land your shots. There are also abilities such as flash grenades and motion sensors. This adds many new layers to the game, and this also depicts how you strategize. There are also even abilities that let you blockade doors in order to keep unwelcome guests out. The gun themselves even have attachments such as scopes and silencers. Being able to personalize your gun feels amazing. I would have never expected a VR game to put that much attention to detail. Back to the game matches. Firewall does demand that you talk to your team, which heavily influences the victor of the battle. At times, splitting into groups of 2 is more effective in certain situations, like when you want to flank your enemy by surprise. And even if you do die, you can still talk to them, because now you have access to security cameras all over the map, allowing you to give your teammates vital intel that may win or cost you the game. The game does place huge value into communicating, which I'm sure you concluded by now. The game itself may be on the slower pace, however this just adds tension to where the enemy is and when they're going to pop out. The fact that you're playing against another team full of actual humans, likely having similar conversations to your team, puts an interesting spin on the game that is very rare and well appreciated. Even though Firewall is out for 2 years, it is extremely easy to load up into matches, likely due to the fact that it was one of the free PS Plus games a couple months back. There is a reason Firewall ranks so highly for a PSVR game, or a VR game in general, is because many elements of the game are fun and interesting. A nice bonus is you don't even need a PSVR remote or gun controller. I mean, it's compatible with it if you would like to use it, but you don't need it. You can also play with a DualShock controller, which is awesome. You may think that the tracking is sketchy at best, however the tracking is near perfect. I don't really see any flaws. The game has a lot more maps than I would think anyone would expect. It's not even like they're small maps. Some of the maps are massive and require a lot of navigation in order to reach your objective, which further creates emphasis on how important it is to work with your team and not just do your own thing. And if you're having trouble finding your team, just look on the map, which is on your wrist. You can also reveal enemy positions if you have a motion sensor or the enemy starts landing shots, which is great if you know how to use it to your advantage. The game does not feel like dumb luck. Teamwork is often what decides the victor. However, if you do get good and understand the enemy's viewpoint on the situation, you could clutch the entire game if needed. Moving on to the graphics, Firewall's graphics are extremely well thought out. Most of the maps are a little darker or at nighttime, probably so the game can handle everything. But that's not to say the maps don't look good. As far as VR goes, the graphics look pretty great. Even the lighting reflects off your gun, which further immerses you into the game. It's truly an experience you need to try for yourself in order to understand what I'm talking about. There's also 2 daytime maps. The sky honestly looks good, but it's a little blinding. I guess that's the only way to give you a sense of realistic sunlight that does not look fake. The guns themselves have insane detail. Someone told me there is literally the exact same gun to the real ones in every way. You can even see where in the world they were manufactured, and they even have barcodes. I'm not 100% sure if this is true, but I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. There are also different contractors, each of which have their own special abilities. I'm currently using Nyla, a contractor that does not set off any mines, which is super helpful because I'm pretty bad at spotting traps. This creates even more layers, the already bloated, in a good way, game. There are even character editors. I guess that's what they're called. Who knows. Anyway, you can change the appearance of your contractor, such as giving them more camouflage or clothing, or giving them some face paint. Just like the character customization, guns have customization as well. They have what I like to call trinkets or keychains, I guess you could call them, that you can put on your gun. They even move around with your gun, which is a super cool effect they put in there. My personal favorite is the tea bag. Moving on to the price, Firewall seems to be selling for $19.99, but it's been out for a while, so you're destined to find a better deal. Maybe not during quarantine, but once all this is over, you should be able to find a better deal. Not that the price is not fair, it's just why not get the best for the least? And if you were lucky enough to get for free for the PS Plus games, that just makes it even sweeter. One thing I don't really like is that some of the contractors are impossible to get because they're hiding behind a paywall, such as that guy who can revive himself when he's down. This is a little frustrating, but at the end of the day, teamwork is the dream work. The rush of adrenaline you get in intense firefights makes the game worth it alone. Now, I would like to grade the game out of a 10. I would give Firewall a 9.8, which does classify Firewall as an A game. So please don't forget about the free shout out. So all you have to do is subscribe and comment and like the video, and I will pick out a winner and I will give them a shout out. And I will be uploading around 3 to 4 videos every week. I'm thinking Nintendo for my next video, but we'll see. And also, I do TV shows and movies, so give me some suggestions down there, and chances are you'll get a shout out. Alright, adios.